Hi everyone, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Alex.
Welcome to Unit 12, Real Estate Scandal. Front-running, the practice of buying something because you have non-public information that in the future something will enhance its value, is a dirty business. With that said, the temptation can be overwhelming if you are presented with this type of opportunity. Enhance.
Enhance.
Unfortunately, a number of workers at LH, Korea Land and Housing Corporation, were unable to resist this temptation and a major scandal has ensued. Ensue.
Ensue. The scandal involves real estate in Siheung and Gwangmyeong, two satellite cities in Gyeonggi Province just outside of Seoul. Unbeknownst to the general public, these two cities were slated for development projects for self-sufficient new cities.
Satellite city.
Satellite city. The idea of which is to create new cities that have all the amenities that you would want in Seoul, but still allow people to live and do business locally. One of the goals the government has is to ease the burden on Seoul housing, which has created a market that is unaffordable for many of its citizens.
Amenity.
Amenity.
Let's talk about the real estate price in your home country compared to where you live in South Korea.
There's no comparison. If you go to certain cities, like the UK is similar to Korea in some ways. It's quite centralized. Half the population of Korea basically lives in and around Seoul. So that's a very centralized country. I know that you could point to a city like Busan and say, well, they have some people too. It's really no comparison. You're comparing like 2.5 million people to 20 million people or even 25 million people, depending on how far out of Gyeonggi-do you live. We have some similar problems because everybody wants to live and work in London, and London housing is very expensive and we don't have that much space. So we're constantly under pressure to try and build more housing and, make new areas zoned for housing and that kind of thing. So the cost of living in London in terms of accommodation is really expensive, and it's not uncommon for like 8 or 9 people to live in the same building. That is an issue. What about where you live?
Well, hometown area in the United States and Texas, real estate is actually really great. Real estate prices have always been great in kind of North Texas area. But if you're talking about California, LA, or New York, places like that, then it's the same situation. There's already been a lot of development. There's not many other places to develop. So housing prices are just ridiculous. So I think in Seoul and in some of these other popular cities in our countries, it's very similar. That'll do it for the preview. We'll see you guys back for the review.